everyone. Today we're going to be doing our top 10 of the year. So basically it's that time of the year, well, after we look at the list of every game we reviewed this year and pick our top 10. Now, last year there was a few differences, but not a lot. But this year, I have a feeling it's going to be quite different.
I think so too.
There were a lot of games I didn't get to play. There's a lot of games that Rob didn't get to play.
I got to play them all.
Not all of them.
Not the ones Chris and I did.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how these lists match up. Now, the first thing that we do is we always take a bet how many match.
Well, how are we going to do that with 3 people?
Well, no, but like, okay, how many that me and you match, how me and Rob match, and then how
real
you
complex
two.
bet.
Well, no, we're just going to say.
So how much overlap?
How much overlap? I think I'll have 3 overlap with Randy, and I think I will have 2 overlap with you.
I think that's pretty generous.
We'll see. We'll see. It is probably pretty generous.
I think
Well,
so.
what about you? What do you?
I was going to go 3 with each of you.
Okay. What about you?
I'll say 2 of each of you.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's talk about number 10.
No, what do they have to do first?
Oh, you have to subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Because we won't be able to tell you the list until you subscribe.
That's right.
Actually, we'll say it, but you won't hear it because only our subscribers will get to hear it.
no. We would greatly appreciate it if you did subscribe. That supports the channel. At the end of the day,
And maybe like it because you like Randy's hair. So,
I mean,
whatever it is.
that won't be the reason you like it. You
That's
will.
right.
You do want to click it if you like board games, because
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
what we do
There's
here
that.
at Legends of Nirvana. All right. So number 10, Robert. Why don't you go first? What you got?
I got Nemesis Lockdown. So published by Awakened Realms, designed by Adam Lipinski. I scored it an 8.5. Honestly, I don't remember what I scored it in the video, but I want to make sure that I put that on the table. My scores might be different from our videos just because I played it more and got to learn the games a little better throughout the year. So I may have higher scores than what I did initially. So number 10, Nemesis. It's awesome.
Well, Nemesis Lockdown, not
Yeah,
Nemesis,
Nemesis Lockdown.
the original one's not.
Yeah.
We didn't review it this year.
All right. What about you, Randy? What do you got for number 10?
My number 10 was Teletum. So that one just recently
Just
came
brand
in.
new,
Yeah, and all of mine were, well, apart from one, were 9 or better as far as the score I gave them when we did the review.
Okay.
But Teletum, Board and Dice Games, is Luciani Tassini's newest release.
Which I haven't got to play yet,
as-
and I'm really excited.
As far as, you're a big fan of Zolkin. We knew that this was going to be one that we were going to be excited to get to the table, and it didn't disappoint. It was a great game. Matter of fact, my sister keeps bugging us because she wants to borrow it from us to give it a try, and we're not releasing it because you wanted to play it again. So
Yeah.
she bugged me again the other day, by the way.
There's an option that she could
Yeah,
do
she
as well.
could actually
She could just
buy
go
it.
buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't
Support
do
your
that.
friendly local game store.
Yeah. All right. So my number 10. I don't know if you guys will remember this one. Boom Lake.
Yeah.
Boom Lake.
Yeah, I have it.
So.
It's a good game.
So I know one of the reasons that we loved it so much is that it was so unique. And that's really why it was on this. All of us loved it. It was high in the uniqueness factor. Because when I was thinking about my top 10, I thought about what are the ones that really come to mind and gave me the most joy. Because there's some that come to mind that was not joy and feeling.
The good feels.
The good feels.
Not the
So
bad
I went for
feels.
the good feels.
Right.
And Boom Lake was one of those. Yeah. So, okay. All right. So number 9. Randy, what do you got for number 9?
Oh, we're changing this up now.
Yes, we are.
Now I'm confused. All right, number
That doesn't
9 is
take a
one
lot.
that I had repeatedly talked about in numerous videos and wanted to go back and play. This is the oldest game on my list
Okay.
at 2017 release. This is Nussfjord. This was a fishing game that we played at one time, and we never got to play it again. But I loved it, and I really want to play it again. It's Uwe Rosenberg's, and one of his lighter games. And there's 2 expansions for it. As soon as we played it, I tried to track them down. Still have not found them yet, and it's not looking good that they'll be re-released anytime soon. So I'm really sad about
So if you have
that.
any access to those.
So yeah, I'm looking for those. It's a lookout game, so it's appropriate that I'm looking out for the expansions.
So, all right. So for my number 9, it's actually a fairly new release. It's called Flamecraft. So,
I'm not saying anything.
So one of the reasons why is the artwork's absolutely beautiful. It was a lot of fun to play. And it is very, very unique. And
kid-friendly.
And kid-friendly, so Sarah was able to play. And it's just breathtaking. And
I might
it's so
have
much
had
fun.
something to do with that.
Yeah, I know. You were able to bring it. Now, I backed it too. We both backed it.
No, I think I was the first one and told you guys.
Yes,
specifically.
This is true.
Because the story is I backed it specifically to let Sarah play it. And then I accidentally told Miranda and Randy about it. And of course, they had to back it too. So.
Well, I mean, I saw it and was like, hey, this is my cup of tea.
We might hear about it again.
Yeah. So what is your number 9?
My number 9, I don't think you guys will put on your list because I don't think you guys liked it as much as I did. And that's Guild of Merchant Explorers. I liked the game quite a bit. You thought it was very bland looking, but just gameplay wise, I thought it wasn't so much unique. It's just that it was a great game by AEG. You know, and AEG doesn't make that. I mean, I love their games, but that level complex. It's not a complex game by any stretch, but for AEG, it's a pretty complex game, I think.
It's funny.
And I played it multiple times, and the more I play it, the more I like it.
So it's funny you mentioned that because when I was looking at the list, that kept drawing my eye. Like I kept thinking about it, like, I actually enjoy it. It looks so boring.
Yeah.
But the gameplay, and so that one, I totally understand why you chose that one because I was eyeing that one too. I was like, oh, if the theme was, if it was just more,
right? So designed by Matthew Dunstan, Brett Gilbert, and I scored it a 7.5 originally, but I think that I'm probably closer to an 8, maybe an 8.5 now. I played it about 10 times now. I'm really liking it.
It gets definitely
better.
Absolutely. All right, so my number 8. I don't know if you guys remember playing this one, Legacies.
Yeah, I like Legacies.
Yeah, so gorgeous. So the story behind that one is we were at Origins, and there was a board game manufacturer, and they had this game out, and I was like, this looks like Icon or Game.
It was the centerpiece of their booth.
Right, and it was absolutely breathtaking, and I was like, so can I buy this? And they're like, no, we're just showing. And I was like, where?
Yes, you can, because I ordered it while we were standing at the booth.
Well, no, but we not at the booth.
Buy it right there.
You couldn't buy it at the booth.
Well, I did. I bought it at the booth. I was at the booth.
He didn't.
I didn't get to take it home.
So yeah, he had to order it online. So, but I mean, and then we got to play it, and I loved the building mechanism, the economy of it. It was just so much fun to play.
The designer's super cool too. Got to meet him at Gen Con. His newest.
My bummer is that we've only got to play it once. Like most games. Like most of these games, I'm like, as I was reading the list, I kept saying, why can't we play some of these?
Pretty sure we played it twice.
Yeah, we did. I think we did. Yeah, I think we did.
2 times. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Impressive.
So, all right, Robert, what do you think for number 8?
My number 8, Twilight Inscription. I really enjoyed the roll and write version of Twilight Imperium. It was published by Fantasy Flight, designed by James Niffen. I scored it a 9. I'm still at 9, if not a little bit more. I've played it about 5 times now, mostly at my local shop in Columbus. I think it's a fantastic game. It is so much fun.
My number 8, 2021 release, it is Gollum, Cranio Creations, which
but I haven't got to play it yet. I want to play it so bad.
I'm not a big fan of Lorenzo, which is their first game, but you love that.
Which is almost blasphemy.
I love Gollum.
It is amazing.
We got Gollum. It just has so many interesting aspects to it. It's got a little bit of the Abomination, where you're building your monster, and you get to give them abilities, and then you have to keep them in check though, because they'll rampage down the track if you don't stay ahead of them, and you can destroy them and get benefits for that too. So there's just so many cool aspects to that game. It's Brasini, Gigli, and Luciani designed it.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely Gollum was another one that I was like, oh, I was thinking about that one. All right, so number 7, Robert, what do you have for number 7?
It was a Christmas present to me. I almost cried when they gave it to me, or at least told me they were going to give it to me, and then I got to play Randy's version and didn't get to play mine.
I think I know what it is.
Even though I knew it was coming to me, which was really mean at the same time. That's Glory to Rome. So published by Cambridge Game Studios, designed by Ed Carter and Carl Chudyk. I scored it a 9. I love that game.
The only reason that's not on my list is because of the age of it. It's an old game.
We reviewed it this year.
We
It's
did.
on the list.
It's a fair game. It's fair game, but it wasn't new to me this year because I had played.
Oh
it
yeah, it
before.
was very new to me, and the game is amazing.
Yeah. We've only played it.
We played it at the cruise ship.
Yeah.
So I guess that technically was this year.
Yeah.
So it was new to me, but it's been a long time.
Right.
So I didn't put it on here.
All right. So what do you got for number 7?
My number 7 was one I fell in love with the first time we played it, and I've played it several times since 2020 release. Fiume. I love that game. The little crocodiles that get to eat your people.
I know you love that game a lot.
I do. It's
Yes.
an excellent deck building game. I mean, it was surprising how good that game was because I mean, it's a
Freeman Freeze.
Freeman Freeze game, yeah, because it starts with an F, so it has to be. Rio Grande made it, and just the fact that there's so many ways you can score points based on the card combinations you can create, and I just thought it was a really clever game.
I really liked it, but it's one I don't own. I need to pick it up because Power Grid's one of my very favorite Freeman Freeze games, and I know Fiume needs to be in my collection.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 7, I don't know if you guys will remember this one, Vivid Memories.
Yep.
Yeah. So that one.
Yeah, that's the one with the things in our hand, right? That we had
No,
rolled out.
No. It's the one with the.
It's got a brain, and you got like you're building puzzle combos in the brain.
Yeah, and the shape of the puzzle piece is like a very elongated diamond.
I don't remember it then.
So you're making kind of neuron connections.
Yeah. So, and it's funny thing is I didn't rate it very high at the time. I think I rated it 8.5 or.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised that one's on your list.
But here's the thing though, going back and looking at the list, I remember it. I remember having so much fun.
That's because you
I
made
liked
neuron
it.
connections with it.
Right. And the thing is we actually ended up playing it 2 or 3 times because I liked it so much. So, for some reason that just called to me. So I put it on the list because I want to play it again.
This is really your list of games you want to play again, is what it is.
Maybe.
Because at the end of the day,
Right.
that's what that's about, right? Which
Right.
ones do you want to go and play? Which ones do you want to keep playing? So, all right, number 6, Randy, what you got?
My number 6 is one of our more recent releases, 2022, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be on your list as well, and that's Encyclopedia. Even though we've struggled to play it correctly every time we play, it's a great game. I rated it at 9.5 when we did the review. Holy Grail Games, and it's Dubois and Mellison that designed it, but it is from the same company that made the Museum series, and we like the Museum series, but I actually liked Encyclopedia more.
I have not got to play this game, but I like the review, but it looks like something I would enjoy.
Yeah, I think you will.
Yeah. So mine, my number 6 is Bitoku. It is a gorgeous game, absolutely breathtaking. It was fun. It was a blast. A little bit complicated to play.
It took a while to understand that one.
It took a while to learn. If we brought it out now, we'd still have to relearn it. But it was absolutely gorgeous, and it was
I was able to teach it on the cruise ship too, because we played it shortly before that.
Right now, it's been 6 months. Now it's been 6 months. Good luck.
But I was able to get players to play Unfathomable by teaching Bitoku. So I managed to get a game of Unfathomable on a cruise ship, which was great. So I like it even more because of that.
So what is your number 6?
My number 6 is our first overlap. Flamecraft. So published by Cardboard Alchemy, designed by Manny Vega, which is one of the reasons why it's on my list. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful game. I gave it a 9.5. It's a fairly easy game. It's pretty light, but I got it because the artwork was so good. But it's one of those games I can take anywhere. It's got such table presence that anybody, I think, would be interested in playing it. And so it's a great way to get people interested in games that may not be otherwise. So it's a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You made it.
I was first last time.
Yeah. Are you going to be first again?
Yeah.
All right. You're number 5.
Oh, okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
My number 5. This is one I'm hoping.
Top 5.
I'm hoping this one is going to survive the Great Flood of 2022 because it did get water damage from the flood, and it's one I cannot replace because they have not fulfilled their orders from the Kickstarter, and there's a lot of angry people about that. Matter of fact, we got some flack for giving it a positive review, whenever people were not even getting their games that they ordered. And I appreciate and sympathize with the people who are going through that, but the game still was awesome, and that's the Age of Atlantis. Such a beautiful game. It was totally not what I was expecting when we got it out. I thought there was going to be a battle game because it looks like a battle game. It looks like a dudes on a map game, but it turns into you're building up your attributes on your player board the way you want to build them to score points. It's not at all. As a matter of fact, in most cases, you're trying to protect your other people's buildings to make sure, because you want to use them. So yeah, it's such a great game. And Miranda, first time we got it out, she bailed on us, and you, Caleb, and I played it, and we were like, I think she missed out on this. And then when she played it, she and we got together out, Melissa and Miranda and I played it, and she fell in love with it as well. So yeah, it's definitely an excellent game. I just hope it's not damaged.
So my number 5 is Foundations of Rome. It's so pretty.
It is very pretty. I almost put that on my list, but I'm so not angry, but jealous that I wasn't able to kickstart it because it was so expensive. But for a roll and write is so over the top. A roll and write.
By the way, they are taking late pledges for it right now.
I'll have to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty. That's why it's on my list. No, the fact is,
it's beautiful.
The fact is you are building a city. Like you see. Yeah. Like you see the
building
city.
Minis.
Like it's breathtaking.
It really is.
And
it's for a roll and ride. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's not really a roll and ride, but it functions similar to one.
It's kind of a roll and ride.
but I mean, the idea is that the fact that you're holding a building in your hand and putting it on the board, and
if you get it, make sure you get the one that's got the stain on it, because it just pops.
Like
everything looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's the reality of it, is that when you put it at the table, there's no doubt.
It's huge table presence. Huge.
I mean, people are going to be sitting down trying to figure out what you're doing. It's just gorgeous, and I thought about how much fun, because it's the Tetris. I love Tetris, right?
Yeah.
So I love Tetris. I love just the...
I had a blast playing it, so I'm glad at least I got to play your guys' version.
Yeah, so that was my number 5.
My number 5 is one that I don't think Randy's unwrapped yet, but I know he has it. Role Player Adventures. So Role Player is a good game in of itself, but what makes Adventures so cool is you can take your character from Role Player and put it into Adventures, and then go through these D&D-like modules and try and play through it. It's got a decent story. Chris and I initially reviewed it earlier this year. He loved it. I loved it. It was designed by Thunderworks Games, which Thunderworks is a great company. I like most of the stuff that they produce. Designed by Keith, and I butchered it the first time I reviewed it, and I want to butcher it again. Keith Matejka, James William Ryan, Peter Andrew Ryan, and I scored it a 9 then, and it's at least that now. It's a great game.
Yep. So my number 4, I'm surprised I haven't heard this one yet, Terracotta Army. So
it was almost on my list.
The fact is, it's another gorgeous game, another great presence. And
there's a lot of good games this year.
Yes,
I mean, well, the fact is you've got, you're building the Terracotta Army, and I liked beating Randy. It was so much fun. And
that's always a bonus.
It is always, but the fact that it's a puzzler, and the fact that because you're trying to get, there's a little bit of air control in the fact that you're trying to get the lines right, but and again, but it's another one that just at the table, you can't deny, you can't, it's cool. It's so much fun to play. Yeah, absolutely. So, I feel like some part of me is doing, the best component list, but not quite, but yeah. Right. So, all right, what about you? What do you got for number 4?
Number 4 is another one that I don't even think you own it, but I really enjoyed it. I picked it up at Gen Con. It's called Enchanters. And so it's a huge big box game that they made with all the expansions. It was published by Gindi and Mythic Games, designed by Rafael Sawicki and Jack Galabiowski. I scored it a 9 then. It still is a 9, but it's a great, simple card battler. Kind of like Smash Up, where you pick 2 different factions, you make a deck out of it, and then everyone does that, and you're just trying to kill bad guys and cast spells and just having a general good time. It's
Yeah.
a fun, beautiful, beautiful game.
I like killing me some bad guys. That
Yeah.
sounds like a
I think the 3 overlap is between us is not looking good right now.
Yeah.
So my number 4, I got to play in Columbus with some of our friends up there.
Yeah.
And I ordered it knowing I was going to probably like it because I knew it was the style of game I liked.
Mhm.
And I also liked the subject matter of the story of the game.
So Rome.
No.
Oh.
No. And I was blown away about how good it was. It was one of the first 10s I gave as far as gameplay this year. I gave 3 10s and they're all on this list. This is the first of the bunch. This is a 2022 release and it's Carnegie. Coined Games. Coined Games is known for making pretty good games, but they're usually pretty good. Carnegie was the first one that was excellent that they made, I think. And I was super impressed by it. Xavier Georges was the designer. And there's just so many parts to the game. It's very interesting gameplay on all of them, and it's so different and unique. But it still feels, it actually feels like a Lacerda game more than it does, anyone else. But it's made by somebody completely different, Xavier Georges. So yeah, Carnegie, check it out.
That could be on my list, but I haven't got a chance to play it yet.
Yeah.
I have it, but I haven't got to play it. I want to play it. My number 3 is we reviewed it this year, but I've owned it since day one, and that's Thunderstone Quest. So Thunderstone Quest is still my favorite deck builder of all time. It's published by AEG, designed by Mike Elliott, Brian Reese, and Mark Wooten. I scored it a 10. It's the only 10 that's on my list that I got for this year. It's just a wonderful deck builder, and it's got the excellent story that's attached to it with the Quest version. I'll play Thunderstone anytime. I love the game. It's awesome.
All right. Wait.
My number 3 is one I think we'll hear if we haven't heard it yet, but we're going to hear about it, I think, again. And this is because this game is my lowest scored ranked game. I scored it at 8.75, or actually between 8.5 and 9 is what I said. But I've played it so many times and I still enjoy it. Not quite as much as Terraforming Mars, but it's in the same vein.
I know what it is.
Ark Nova.
Yep.
Like I said, I gave it 8.75. It's Capstone Games. This is their first entry on the list. There will be another. And it's Matthias Wig that designed it. And it is just a well-designed game. Matter of fact, I think it's number 4 right now on Board Game Geek. And it's not going to go drop anytime soon.
I don't think so either.
I'm just expecting and anticipating the expansion. I mean, I know it's coming soon.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when, but I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, we were hot to trot to get the special map that was unique at Gen Con.
Yeah,
And
well, I played it on the cruise ship. I had already pre-ordered it and was going to get my usual discount on it, but I liked it so much, I ordered it directly from Capstone to make sure I got it as soon as possible because they kept changing the date of the release of it, and I wanted it, like, I knew I was going to like it so much, and I knew everyone was going to like it so much, so I wanted to get it to the table to review
I
quickly.
pre-ordered to Capstone too. It's a great game.
Yeah.
You might hear it again.
All right. So my number 3 is Messina 1347. So we ended up having to play this game like 4 times to make sure we got the rules right. But we got to play it 4 times. So no, I loved the theme. I loved the whole plague thing. I loved
You like the plague?
No, I liked the theme.
She's a plague fan.
Okay. All right.
Whatever. No, but I liked, I really enjoyed the theme. It felt very thematic, worker placement, trying to save your people, and hopefully they don't, you're trying to make sure they don't die of the plague, and you're trying to eradicate the plague and all that. And
Is that why you're wearing all black?
Yes, that's pretty much it. No, it's just what I wear.
It's color of the plague.
Whatever. But no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game.
Yeah,
so
it is a great game.
Yeah, so that's why it's on my number 3.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right, number 2.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I think this I'm guessing might be Randy's number 1. I'm not for sure, but it's, I didn't rank it a 10, but I ranked it very high. It's Wonderland's War. So published by Druid City and Skybound Games, designed by Tim and Ben Eisner and Ian Moss. I did score it a 9. It is a fantastic bag building pressure luck game. Beautiful, everything about it. It's just a almost perfect game. It is very good. Better than Quackspatlenberg. So that's my number 2.
What's your number 2, Randy?
My number 2 is one that overlaps with your list, and that's Boone Lake. You know, that's early in the year we played it. It was the first 10 of the year that I gave as far as gameplay, because I couldn't find any fault with it. There was, I loved the player board that you could customize to your skills that you wanted. The resource management that they had on the boats where you shipped them, the area control, if you will, on the board, and the unique a la carte system for the actions that we had. I don't think it's supposed to be designed where you pass it around like we did, because you could drop it, then the game is over. But we really enjoyed that aspect where you pick what your action is and you move it to the bottom. And yeah, it was just a really cool game. Still don't understand the technology of that, but apart from that, it was a great game. It was, like I said, the first 10 I gave this year. So
it's a wonderful game.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
So for me, we reviewed the game, but I'm doing an asterisk. So it's Last Will, the combo. So
with Prodigal Club.
Yeah, with Prodigal Club. When you combine,
you had a blast.
I love that game so much. I love that game. I loved it so much. So if Last Will was on the list, I was like, with Prodigal Club. I like with Prodigal Club.
We did have a lot of fun with it.
That one was such a blast, and I hope we get to play it again, because just being able to do both, that made it such a crunchy, amazing game. Like, this is where it's at. So let's talk about our honorable mentions before we get to number 1. So I have a couple of honorable mentions. I'm surprised we haven't heard. I'm surprised we hear it in 10 Penny Parks.
I haven't got to play it yet.
You haven't got to play that one yet? Oh.
We almost played it one time, but we played something else. So
okay, because that one is like the circus theme, and you're kind of building like a theme park. It had really cool, like this Tetris vibe to it that I appreciated, so I really like that. On some mechanisms, trying to make sure you get the right things for your amusement park. I also wanted to call out First Rat, because that one was just a cute little game. That one was just so freaking cute. And then I really liked Hippocrates. That one I really enjoyed. I actually didn't get to do that review because I bailed, because that's my MO.
I think that one wins for our longest review of this year.
Yes.
It went on for a while.
Yes, because I wasn't there. But no, I do want to mention. And then the other one, and this one's more a call out for those that like the kind of sweet creature comforts. That one was darling. I told Randy, I said we could probably do a top 10 kids, because we had so many good kids games this year. Like, and that may still be in the works, but I did definitely want to call that one out. What are your honorable mentions, Randy?
Well, first of all, Flamecraft was an honorable mention for me, because I think still that one is the best contender for Spiel des Jahres, or at least the Kinderspiel award. I would be surprised if it does not win.
I would be too.
It wasn't my cup of tea. That's why it's not on my list, but I can't make it anything less than a 9 as far as the score on it, which is what I gave it. Yeah. And I think it deserves an honorable mention here. But you already mentioned it, so Catherine, the Cities of Tsarina. This one was one I fell in love with first time I played it. After we played it a few times, my love of it's dwindled a little bit. I still like it a lot, but it didn't quite meet the standard of getting up into my top 10. And my last one was Trismegistus, the Ultimate Formula.
I almost put Trismegistus.
I love that game a lot. It's it's 2019, not super old. It's not as old as Nussfjord.
Right, but it took us forever to get to playing it, though.
It took us forever to get to playing it. It's another complex game, and I already had the
T-series.
It fell off mostly because it's basically the same kind of game as Gollum and all of that. So I was like, I've already got those kind of games on here. And Terracotta Armies didn't quite make this cut because I didn't rate it as high as these other ones. And I was like, but I've already got most of my list is that level of a game, and I wanted to make sure it covered more than just all those heavy games. So that's the only reason Trismegistus didn't make it up here too. Yeah.
What are some of your honorable mentions?
Definitely Terracotta Army. I enjoyed it a lot. And then there's too many games really to list, but two that I just had an absolute blast with the roll and rides. One is Super Skill Pinball. Love that game. and then Dungeon Dice and Danger. I have such a good time with that game, and it's just they're so much fun. If you haven't played them, you need to play them.
Yeah,
they're so good.
Those are really good for honorable mentions. All right, let's talk about number one.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so my number one, Randy's gonna hate me. Planet Unknown. I love this game so much.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I love
Planet
this
Unknown
game
is such a big game.
I love it so much.
I can see the appeal in it. I just wish it wasn't broken.
You only think it's broken because you can't win. All right, so no, there are.
It's buggy. It's
bu-
very buggy.
It has some bugs, but if you just don't play with the expansion and play the base.
Yeah, you don't play any of the reason people buy it, so they can play the variable player planets and the variables.
It's just so good. Every time I play it, I'm like, I want to play it more. And you know what? Here's the fun thing. Even if it is buggy, I don't mind playing with all the other stuff because you just know it's buggy and you keep having fun. Like, it's fun. So
that sounds like Tapestry, which I actually like.
I love Tapestry.
I like Tapestry way more.
I know. I understand that some of it's a little buggy, but I still couldn't help. Like, when I think about the game that I've had the most fun all year round, it's Planet Unknown.
I thought it was Last Will.
Listen, Last Will was a close. I mean, it was
definitely Planet Unknown for her. I knew that was going to be her number.
Okay, all right.
But Last Will was
pretty close.
It was there. It was there.
All right, Randy.
Well, you've already kind of blown it. This is good for me.
No, I was guessing. I didn't know.
The only perfect score across the board I've ever given to a game is Wonderland's War. It had to be number one for me. And it's thematically...
Would it still be that highly rated if it was not Alice?
It's still beautiful. I don't care what theme it is.
But if you took Alice out of it, would it still be that highly rated?
I think so. Because you got the gameplay. It's got all of the fun of the Quacks of Quedlinburg, but done better.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got area control where you're battling for the areas. You're getting your abilities for the cards going around the tea party. It makes sense thematically from that standpoint. It all perfectly meshes. The only complaint there is really about it is the fact that the Mad Hatter is overpowered and the Jabberwocky is a little underpowered. But they're getting ready to fix that with this expansion.
Really?
So yeah, they're going to send updated player boards. To fix those two that change their powers to make them balance.
Okay.
So
that'll be interesting to see.
They're taking out the one complaint anybody has that I've seen about it. And I thought it was an amazing game. And matter of fact, I don't ever want to play Quacks anymore because that game is so much better.
I agree.
And it's just beautiful. Make sure if you get the Kickstarter version because the
deluxe version's so
the
nice.
poker chips are just incredible. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing about that game that doesn't shine. So yeah, it was a perfect 10 across the board for me, and it's easy to teach.
Yep.
It's just everything about it is wonderful.
So my number one, actually, I did not rate as high as I feel it is now initially, and that's Ark Nova. So Ark Nova, Pure Landspiel, Capstone Games, designed by Matthias Wig. I scored it. I think I scored initially an 8, maybe an 8.5. I'm like at a 9, 9.5 now because I played it so many times since that initial review, and each time I don't get better at it, but I enjoy it more and I'm understanding it more, and that like the Rise of the Ganges scoring method that I like so much. I just really dig it, and so I just love it. I love playing it. I'll play it anytime. If you come to Columbus, I'll play it with. So I'll teach you. I love Ark Nova. It's my number one game. Yeah. So
it's funny. I ended up having to rewatch a bunch of our reviews to get this list because it's so.
We've reviewed a few games.
We've reviewed, well, and it's hard to remember them all. And so when I was watching them, so Randy's had 3 10s. I've had nothing. We always say.
Let's point out. Yeah, the first thing you did was say I was the Simon of the group, and basically that I was the hard one.
Yeah.
So I tend to be the easy one. What are you talking about?
So I don't know. Did you have any 10s this year?
Yeah, I think Flamecraft. I might have gave Flamecraft a 10.
Yeah. So
I gave I definitely gave Thunderstone 10. I know that for sure.
Yeah. So it's just so funny because that's the thing I was talking about. As far as gameplay, now I did have given 10s on component quality and things like that.
Well, I know a lot of times
But
you're in between. Randy will give it one score, I'll give another score, and you're in between us.
Yeah.
We do that a lot.
Mhm.
Well, but
And sitting at the table.
yeah. No, but no, I just thought it was funny. I wanted to point that out. Maybe I am a harder critic.
I think so.
Except for One Planet Unknown.
That is the awesomest game ever. I just had so much fun. I mean, the game. See, here's the thing though. You can play games and they can have amazing mechanics, good theme, all that. But then at the day, you don't have fun playing it. And we've experienced that.
Sure.
We've had a couple where it was like, I should like this game. I don't. Right? So
Like Flamecraft.
I love
I love
playing
Flamecraft.
crap.
I didn't enjoy it. It was a kid's game. I enjoy it for Sarah.
All right, so look, maybe we can close out with this. There was a game that I was really excited to get. I liked it. I just didn't like it as much as I wanted to like it. And that was Merchants of the Dark Road. It was so overproduced.
Yes.
I agree.
And it's so gorgeous, and I like the game, but I don't like it as much as pretty as it is. I mean, I want to like it more.
Yeah. No, I totally, yes. There are a couple that are like
That's that one game that I just it's okay. I just wish it was better.
Yeah.
Because the components are so awesome.
Well, you talk about that, and the one that comes immediately in mind to me is First Winter. When you get that out, the components are there, the theme
Endless
is there.
Winter,
Endless Winter?
Sorry, Endless Winter.
Oh,
The components were there, the thematically it was there, but playing it, I was just like, like I was really bummed. And I know there's been a couple other games that have been like that for me, where I've been like, I don't know why I don't like this. It just don't hit something.
I know a lot of people like poo-pooed on Dwellings of Elderville because of how overproduced that game was. But I really like that game though. So
I didn't think there was enough game to justify all the sound effects. And
So, Randy, tell us which one did you feel like kind of let you down?
Well, I think all of us felt a little bit let down by my father's work, and we got a lot of feedback from that
because we didn't play it all the way through.
But
and
I didn't feel like the endings were that disparaging.
Right, because we did look through it.
Well, we started to play it, and we got through the first half, and then we had to stop, and then we went back and played again. And the second time we played, we made different choices, but all of the story kept going the same path, and the different choices just put this building in play versus that building, and it didn't really change that much. And we went all the way through the whole story, and I didn't feel like it was going to be that different that I would want to play each. I played each story once.
Right, we played story 1, and I think there's 3 in the base game. Right?
Yeah,
so we didn't play the other 2.
Yeah, but I didn't feel there was enough replayability in the game.
Yeah,
but it's got so many beautiful pieces, and it's like, but I didn't feel like the gameplay was going to be enough to justify the investment in the pieces. It was a little disappointing for me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast. What are some top 10s that you would like to see?
Absolutely, yeah. List, of course.
Yeah, I mean...
a top 10 list of top 10 lists. That would be awesome.
No, but tell us something, or what's your top 10?
Of the year. Let us know which top 10 of games you played this year.
Yeah, absolutely, because we would like to see that. Maybe there's something that we need to get to the table.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, we hopefully we'll hang out again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.